Good morning, everyone. This is Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 9:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 6, 2021. Right now, just so you know that this is not financial advice, I am doing this purely for educational, as well as outline my own personal investments and entry exit points into NuCypher. Intraday updates are over at twitter.com/Wall Street Tra 12. Also, you could just click on the link and make it easy for yourself. If you want intraday updates, it's at the bottom or in the description of the video. On to my current NuCypher allocation for those that are new. 80% of what I invested into NuCypher were across these entry points using a dollar cost average methodology in terms of where I feel the right entry point is, not just a timed interval of dollar cost averaging. The other 20% is still sitting in US dollars waiting to be deployed into NuCypher. I have no particular planned entry or exit points at this time. That being said, let's take a look at the NuCypher chart. NuCypher US dollar, which is what you all see in Coinbase or Robinhood or whatever other investment software you use to invest in NuCypher. We're always looking at it in dollars, especially if you live here in the US. So that's kind of how we measure success. We want to buy low, sell high. Now, this chart, NuCypher US dollars, driven by two factors, and I say this on every video, and I will going forward, is that Bitcoin US dollar, which is the benchmark, the overarching benchmark, and then the NuCypher Bitcoin, which is the strength of NuCypher relative to Bitcoin. So it's basically the strength indicator of NuCypher relative to the benchmark. So consider it like a spread to the benchmark. Are we tightening or are we widening? And those are things that you have to look at. So just going based on the NuCypher chart right now, if we look at the current existing state, the long-term pattern was up. We then broke this pattern straight down. So now we're on this intermediate channel on the downtrend. Now the question is, do we see any patterns? And the question that I've had since yesterday till this morning is we might. And the big word here is might. So if we drill into this area here that I'm looking at, and then we open this up, we can see a potential pennant formation. We need something to break out of this downward channel. And the only way to do it is to come up with a pattern, a bullish pattern, to see if there's a bullish pattern forming that could potentially resolve itself to a strong enough push to the upside. Now, typically pennant patterns will, this is the flagpole for the pennant pattern. It started all the way down here. Let's just say it's like 36 and change, went all the way up here on the flagpole to 50 something. And typically a bullish breakout of a pennant would go half the distance of the flagpole. So let's just say it's 9 cents. So where are we here? It would be 9 cents from the breakout. Let's just say it goes down to 45. When 10 cents, it would be up to 55. And it would take us out of this downward red channel. That being said, nothing's certain. This I drew because I'm starting to sense that this is a formation that it's making. Not every pennant breaks out to the upside. Not every pennant breaks to the downside. Generally speaking, they break to the upside. But again, though, that when I say generally or typically, it's 55, 60%. Not 100% to the upside, or not even 89% to the upside. So just recognize that. Let's move forward to the benchmark, Bitcoin. What have we been doing? On Bitcoin right now, we're still over this very long-term trend line, which I've drawn on the bullish pattern, but it's really kind of hugging this lower support line, and we've broken it on a couple of occasions. So if you look a little closer in terms of the overnight price action, we went down. Notice how after we break down or we break up, as soon as we hit this line, we're either off to the races or not. So this is kind of like a scrimmage line in terms of a competing force on both sides. Once you get to the other side, you go fast. And this is like you went from positive to below the line, you went fast down. You went from negative to above the line, you went fast up. So understand that this line is a big area of resistance, and it's like if you break through it, you've pretty much opened the dam walls and the water starts flooding in. Think of it like that. Anyway, So overnight price action, we were like in the 57 area, pretty much, for the majority of the day. And then last night we broke up actually 6 in the morning, broke way up to 58 and change, and now we're kind of settling down to 57, 381. Hard to say where we're going to go with this, but just please keep your eye on it. It is a benchmark. It does contribute, but I think nothing contributes more to this pattern for the NuCypher investment than the NuCypher Bitcoin correlation. This can make all the difference in the world. If Bitcoin was trading where it was today and this correlation index went from 8 to 16, we would be looking at a 95-cent price on NuCypher. And this is why this chart is ultra, ultra, ultra important, because this one is a more volatile chart and its impact on the NuCypher price is much more predominant than much more dominant than the Bitcoin fluctuations. So let's take a look at what we're looking at here. We did have a downward trend. This seems a bit bearish, but at the same time looks like there may be some redetermination. We could be under a consolidation period here for some time. We're at 825. The idea is we want to get back up into this range. This is our healthy area. This is where we want to be. But time will tell. So I don't want to keep everyone too long, but just note that I'm currently 80% invested in NuCypher for my NuCypher allocation, 20% still waiting. Like I said on last night's video, if you get a gift and that gift is down in the 700 range on this pair, I don't think I would care about what entry point the actual US dollar rate is on NuCypher. I'd probably just pull the trigger, and I'll tell you why. Because when you look at again, and I brought this up yesterday, remember that 700's over here, right? This area is the 700 zone. It's only been down there for a very small period of time. Feels like 720 is ultimately the point where we break down and then we break up. So once we get out of the 700 range, notice how we fly up over here, and notice on the 700 range, we fly down, like over here where you see all these red bars. So it is important to know that this 700 area, which is, and I'll draw another scrimmage like line here, horizontal line, right? But the reality is we want not to be down there. But if we do go down there and you have cash on the sidelines, I mean, if I was you, and this is just me, I would wind up buying. Because I don't see this sticking around under the 700 level for long. And because this has a bigger impact on price action in the NuCypher US dollar chart, I think that would be a cheap entry point, a real cheap entry point. And I've already done it before. I've nabbed it when it was 700 per Bitcoin. So I think right now, and I got it at 39 cents. And look where we are now. We're up at 47. Not bad for a day trade, but I wasn't looking to sell it, but I just got it at a very cheap price. Now we're 47.71 on NuCypher US dollar. With that, I'll be out. I'll keep monitoring this and post out to the Twitter feed on where I see this going. But I think it's an interesting pattern developing here. More to come, and good luck with trading. Take care. Bye.